Hello everybody and welcome back to Dr. Ghost Games. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Tier 8 Tech Tree American Light Cruiser, the Seattle. I did just get this thing not too long ago, and yeah, so today we're going to be doing just a little bit of a review of the ship. We're going to be going over the upgrades and loadout, we're going to be going over the stats, we're going to be going over the commander I have on, and we're going to have a little bit of gameplay. Now, quick disclaimer, I'm going to give you guys my complete honest thoughts in this video. I'm not going to leave anything out that I think I should say. So just keep that in mind. If I think this thing's great, I'll say it. If I think this thing's a pile of garbage, I'll say it. So just keep that in mind. That's how I usually am with all of my reviews. I like to keep things legit, you know what I mean? But anyways, with all that being said about legitness, let's go and take a look at the Seattle. So, for the upgrades and loadout, we have aiming systems mod in the first slot. We have steering gears mod in the second slot. You guys could easily put on propulsion mod. I could totally see that being an option. In the third slot, we've got concealment systems mod. You could totally put on steering gears. That's totally an option. Target acquisition, I don't see that being an option. I really don't see the point of that. But yeah, I value the concealment more. So I can get a little closer without being detected, that kind of thing. And for the fourth and final mod slot, we have gunfire control systems mod 2. Now, I'm probably going to swap this out later for main battery mod 3, mainly because the firing range, the extra firing range, is really not that useful. These shells shoot to the moon anyway, so, you know, it takes, like, literally forever for shells to get there. The odds of you actually hitting people out to maximum range is very uncommon, so odds are I'm probably going to swap this out later down the line. And yeah, our Seattle is fully upgraded, so just keep that in mind. Now for the loadout, we've got damage control parties, which are pretty standard, nothing too crazy there. We've got sonar, which has a 3.3 kilometer torpedo detectability with a 4.7 kilometer detection of ships. So not too bad at all. You could also swap that out for defensive AA at any point, which is totally an option. For example, if you're running a carrier in your division or something, because this thing does have pretty good AA. So yeah. Now for the radar, it's got a 9 kilometer detection of ships, and it lasts around 35 seconds. That's a consumable duration. The reload time's pretty bad, 142.5 seconds, and yeah, you get 2 of these things. Of course, if you put on a fully packed, you get 3 of everything. So just keep that in mind. It's up to you. Now for the repair parties, you've got around 217 HP per second. It's not the greatest heal in the world. It's nothing like the British, for example, but it's there. You could swap this out for a catapult fighter or a spotter, but I really don't see the point. A heal is pretty damn important, I would say. Now for the stats, we've got 43,000 hit points with a 4% torpedo damage reduction. Absolutely atrocious in terms of torpedo damage reduction. You don't want to be taking torps. Pretty self-explanatory there. For the artillery, we've got 12 152mm 6-inch American guns that shoot out to 17.5 kilometers on the current build that I'm running. The reload time on these 6-inch guns is 5.9 seconds with a 22.5 second 180-degree turn time. The maximum HE shell damage is 2300, and the fire chance on my build is a whopping 19% on my light cruiser, which is really good, but don't let that fool you because, well, at the end of the day, getting fires and stuff is all RNG regardless of what you have to say. So, yeah, who knows, right? But still, pretty damn decent for a light cruiser, to say the least. And the AP maximum shell damage is, of course, 3500 if you get Citadels. Now for the AA defense, it's pretty good. I'm not going to go deep into it, but it is very good. And yeah, you can do some things with this AA. It's American light cruiser at the end of the day. So yeah, carriers beware. Now for the maneuverability on my build, this is probably going to change. But yeah, the current maneuverability that I have is around 37.2 knots maximum speed with a 750 meter turning circle radius. That's never probably going to change because that's just how bad it is. This thing is almost battleship level maneuverability. Really, it's got heavy cruiser maneuverability, and it's just not good, man. The agility on this thing is just absolutely atrocious. I'm not going to lie with you guys. So odds are, later down the line, what I'm probably going to end up doing is taking all of the agile slots, you know, off. I'm going to probably take my steering gears and stuff off, and I'm going to put everything on that's going to help me increase my DPM because the maneuverability is bad. No matter what, it's just bad. So yeah, I would not recommend turning this thing into an agile cruiser. Let's just say that. So now for the concealment, 11.2 kilometers by sea. Not the greatest. 6.9 detection by air, 2 kilometers guaranteed, of course, with a 6.3 kilometer detection while firing in smoke. Now for the armor, here's the funny part, okay? It's got no armor. Almost everything in terms of battleships can overmatch you. You got 25 millimeters of bow and stern plating, which 15-inch guns or higher can go straight through that shit like butter. Pardon my language, but that's just the truth. You have no armor. And, you know, not to mention, if you take a look at the citadel of this thing, holy Jesus, yeah, it's fucking massive, okay? Pardon my language once again, but like I said, I'm gonna be real with you guys. This shit massive. Yeah, and in the gameplay, the first 2 games that I played, yeah, I got fucked over quite hard in the first 2 games, and you guys are gonna see what I'm talking about. But the Citadel is absolutely it's just gargantuous. There's nothing else to say. So, yeah, battleships, anything with big guns, if they catch you, you gon' get slapped. It's that simple. It's got a raised Citadel. It's a bad time if you get hit by AP. So, yeah. Now for the commander, we're running Norman Scott. It says Miss Santa, but that's just my guise that I have on. But I am running Norman Scott. I've got Nikolai Kuznetsov for the extra main battery range. Once again, I might just swap that out later down the line because, you know, the main battery range really doesn't mean shit because it's not like you're going to hit people past 15 kilometers anyway consistently if they're not just sitting still. Now for the second inspiration, we've got Karl von Mueller, which gives me extra speed, which I'm probably going to keep that on regardless. That little bit of speed is very nice. I put this on a lot of my cruisers. Now for the base trait, of course, we've got Directed Impact, which increases my main battery shell grouping by 5%. We've got Burn It Down XXL, which increases my fire chance. We've got Igniter, which also increases my fire chance. So both of these skills right here give me an extra 5% to my fire chance. So there you go. Now for the third skill, I have Velocious, which increases my maximum movement speed plus 5. But then again, I'm probably going to end up swapping this to Punch Through because I really don't see the point in building an agile cruiser here. It really does not have good agility regardless of what you do. So I think the best way to play this ship is just becoming an island boy and burning people down because it doesn't have the armor to take any hits and it does not have the maneuverability at all. It just doesn't. So, you know, it's up to you how you're going to build this thing, but later down the line, what's probably going to end up happening is I'm going to completely swap this build around, and I'm just going to put a full-on DPM build on. So, yeah, basically, guys, the build that I have on currently, it's subject to change. I'm still figuring this thing out. Now, for the fourth skill, I have Fixated, which increases my main battery shell grouping plus 5%, and it decreases my dispersion minus 5%. Pretty self-explanatory there. Basically makes my ship more accurate. And for the legendary skill, I have Refill Station, which decreases my main battery reload time minus 10%. Pretty important to have on a light cruiser, I'd say, in this current day and age. But you could easily swap this out with Fully Packed, get some extra stuff, or swap this out with EOP, get some extra penetration on the shells, but that decreases your fire chance in half. So I really don't like that skill at all if I'm trying to set fires. So just keep that in mind. And with all that being said, yeah, we've gone on long enough talking over the ship. We've been going on for about 9 minutes, but yeah, my Norman Scott, she's, yeah, she, whatever, level 16, legendary 3. And with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring you guys over to the gameplay portion of this video, and I will talk a little bit more about the ship. So I hope you all do enjoy it nonetheless. I'll see you all there. Okay, so here we are in the Buffalo. Or, sorry, the Buffalo, yeah. No, we're in the Seattle, ladies and gentlemen. See, my brain's already off in Narnia right now. But yeah, we're in the Seattle. We are going to be on Crash Zone. It's going to be a domination mode. Now, in this portion of the video, in the gameplay portion, I'm not going to be talking too much about the gameplay, mainly because, well, light cruiser gameplay is pretty boring regardless. All I'm trying to do in the game is just burn people down. Seeing what this DPM is all about with this thing, and so far it doesn't have much DPM. But we'll talk about that more a little bit later. Now, what I would like to point out with the Seattle is that it's not that good. Compared to the Buffalo, it's not that good. You know, pointing out on the Seattle, you've got around a 6-second reload. Most people are going to have around a 6-second reload, so we're just going to say 6 seconds. That's a reload, basically. And yeah, we've got around a 6-second reload. On my Buffalo, I have a 7.5-second reload. So here's a question for you guys. Would you guys rather have American super heavy armor-piercing shells and, of course, that American HE, with the extra penetration values, of course? Or would you rather have 6-inch guns with the, of course, better reload? It's really up to you to decide. Would you rather sacrifice 1.5 seconds of reload for 8-inch guns, or would you rather come play Seattle and keep your 6-inch guns? To be honest with you guys, I would honestly rather go and pick up the Buffalo and have 8-inch guns. And that's something I want you guys to be aware of. This thing's reload is not that good for a light cruiser. This thing should have around a 5.4 3-second reload, okay? Let's be freaking real. If the Buffalo has almost as much, reload as me, why the heck would I be playing this thing over the Buffalo? The Buffalo has heavy cruiser guns. You got 8-inch guns, and you have almost just as better reload as this thing. When I had my Buffalo, I had a 7.5 second reload on the damn thing. So, just saying. I mean, there's that. And that's just one thing I want to bring up, I still think that, I haven't brought this up, but I think, really, I don't think I still think, I think that this thing needs a reload buff. 6-second reload, basically, right? 5.9 seconds on my build. That's not that good for a light cruiser. This thing should have around a 5.5 second base reload, okay? Or at least a 6-second base reload, and you should be able to get it down to 5.5 or 5 even. So that's just one thing I want to bring up. The reload on this thing is not that impressive for a light cruiser. Let me be real. It's still pretty good, right? But it's nothing too crazy. I mean, even the Cleveland has around the same reload at, and that's at tier 7. So, yeah. Just wanted to talk about the reload on this thing. It's nothing special. You know what I mean? And the guns are nothing special. They do the same amount of damage. They have the same penetration as every other American cruiser with its 6-inch guns, pretty much. The only thing different is the fire chance. You've got a super high fire chance, 14% base, right? And you can get that up to around 19% if you go full-on fire build, which I find to be almost unnecessary. But then again, I'm a fire starting build, so that's kind of what I'm doing. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about was the armor on this thing. It's horrible. It's horrible. I mean, the armor is, in my opinion, it's just not good. If you take hits in this thing, you're not going to have a good time. And I'm gonna show you guys an example of that very, 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 very shortly. And yeah. And remember in the armor viewer portion of the video how I talked about how big the damn Citadel was? Yeah. I mean, the Citadel is absolutely huge on this ship. And that's a big problem, because if you're trying to dodge battleship shells or go forward to dodge battleship shells, well, remember, you don't have very good agility to do so. So, just saying, you're going to get hit like this. Yeah, there goes half of my health, just like that. And that's because I decided to put on, I didn't have propulsion on. If I would have had propulsion mod on, I probably would have been able to dodge those shells completely. But I didn't, so I just lost half my health. That's a big problem right there in of itself. I mean, yeah, I'm sitting still like a dummy, but still, nonetheless, I mean, yikes. Like, this thing has horrible armor. It's got a big Citadel, not too shabby, so far. So, yeah. Now, what are some of the positives of this thing? Well, obviously the fire chance. It's ridiculous for a light cruiser, right? Most people are going to have around a 17% fire chance on this thing. If you want to be even more stupid, you could put on, of course, that, the couple extra fire perks, and you can get it around 19%. So that's, I guess, a plus, right? Now, the reload is pretty mediocre. We talked about it already, but yeah, that's more of a con, really. But I guess the fire chance is a plus. Okay, what else is a plus? Let me think here. Maybe the radar. Then again, though, I mean, the radar really isn't anything to boast about. So I really can't think of anything else that this thing has. Like, what does this thing have that's better than any of the other cruisers at the tier? Like, seriously, can you guys think of anything that this thing has that is better? I can't. I really can't seem to figure out what this thing has going for it compared to other tech trees. It's kind of mediocre, like I said, I'm going to be real this video, and I don't get me wrong, I'm putting my bias out the window when I'm saying this. I love American ships. If you guys watch the channel long enough, you guys know I love my American ships, and I especially love my American cruisers. I'm an American cruiser main, okay? Keep that in mind. But so far, I don't like this, man. It's sluggish. It's not that good in terms of agility, and that's something I look forward to in cruisers. Having some level of balance, in all departments, in agility, in firepower, and everything, and this thing just doesn't have a balance of that. The only thing it's good at is setting fires. That's it. Like, that's it. That's the only thing it can do is set fires. Everything else is pretty piss poor. The radar only lasts 35 seconds. That's only 5 seconds extra, right, than the Cleveland. I mean, who cares? 5 seconds. Woohoo, right? The heals are nothing to boast about. They're not super good heals, okay? And you only get 2 of them stock, right? You get 2 of everything stock. And the sonar, I mean, the sonar is good, but you're never going to be getting close to use that sonar. You know what I mean? So that's the problem there. It's the most mediocre cruiser I've ever freaking played at Tier 8. I'm not going to be real. And I haven't played a whole lot of Tier 8 cruisers really at all. But so far, I don't see any reason why I would take this thing over the Buffalo. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm giving this ship a little bit of, a little bit of hate. I might be being a little hard on this ship, and my opinion might change later down the line the more I play it. But I can't seem to find something that this thing's super good at or something that sticks out on this thing. It's just a Cleveland, but better. That's basically what it is. It's just a slightly better Cleveland. And really, it's not even that. Like, it's the only thing this thing has going for it compared to the Cleveland is, of course, the slightly better radar, the slightly better sonar, maybe. I don't actually know. I haven't looked, but I'm sure it probably does have slightly better sonar. And, of course, a slightly better AA and health. That's the only thing that this thing has going for it compared to the Cleveland. Oh, yes. And, of course, the fire chance. It has better fire chance, obviously. And it, of course, has better reload, I think. I don't know. Once again, you guys could do some of the research yourself on that. But to sum this ship up, it just doesn't have a whole lot going for it. I'm going to be real with you guys. It doesn't. It just doesn't. So, like I said, maybe I've given this ship a little bit too much hate. But, I can't say, though, that it's not a bad ship. It's not a bad ship. But in terms of all the other Tier 8s, the Buffalo, better than this thing, I'd say, in almost every way, in every aspect. I actually quite like the Buffalo. So there you go. I have not played any of the other cruisers. I have not. I don't bother with Tier 8 that much anyway, but I have not played any of the other Tech Tree cruisers. But so far, I'm not that impressed with this thing. And I'm going to keep saying it, but yeah. So, as you guys can see here, I'm already up to almost 100 main battery hits, and I only have 4 fires? Like, really? Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Come on now. This is supposed to be a DPM machine. Where's my DPM? Like, seriously. There's a fire. There you go. But yeah, just... It's not that special. It really isn't. It really is not. So, yeah, like I said, I'm struggling to think of any positives with this ship, but yeah, this thing's just basically an HE slinger. That's all it's good for, and that's about it. So, with all that being said, let me know what you guys think. I'm seriously, be constructive in the comments. Tell me what you guys think. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say, and maybe you guys can even help me a little bit. Maybe shed some more light on this cruiser, but so far, I'm not that impressed. And I hope I did not trigger any of you guys out there. Oh, Ghost, you don't know what you're talking about. Maybe I don't, right? That's what you guys can do is go into the comments. Let me know what you guys think of this cruiser, please. I'm actually looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about this cruiser, if you have it or if you don't, or if you're even going to bother with it. Let me know in the comments. And let me know what you guys think of, for builds and stuff. You know what I mean? Let me know what you guys think. But I'm gonna be experimenting with this ship a little bit more. I'm going to be trying out some builds. I'm going to be swapping around between agility, and I'm going to probably be going over to DPM builds, and I'm just going to figure this thing out. But so far, I'm not that impressed. So, pretty mediocre light cruiser to say the least. And so far, would I recommend this ship? No. No. You would be better off going and picking up the Minnesota. You'd be better off even getting the Buffalo. The Buffalo literally is better because of the fact that it has 8-inch guns, and you only have to sacrifice a second or two of reload to get those 8-inch guns. So, yeah, why the hell would I take this thing over the Buffalo? I really don't see the point. But, ladies and gentlemen, with all that being said, there's really nothing else much to talk about. This gameplay is utterly boring. I'm not going to lie with you guys. That's what this thing is. It's a boring-ass light cruiser. I'm not too impressed. Look at the amount of damage I'm taking. Yeah, I'm a light cruiser, I know, but damn. Oof, it's just not a good time, man. I'm not enjoying this thing so much. I'm not going to lie with you guys. But, yeah, like I said, I'm not going to keep this going on for much longer. There's not much else to talk about with this thing. Like I said, let me know in the comments what you guys think. And if you guys have enjoyed this video, if you guys agree with what I say or anything like that, or you just want to help out the channel, please be sure to go down there, hit that like button, and subscribe. So that way, yeah, you don't miss a single video or anything like that. And yeah, make sure, speaking of not missing a single video, go down there, hit the notification bell. So that way, yeah, you get notified when I upload. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Stay healthy, as always.